Welcome back to the Beatdown Bandits podcast. I'm Colin. This is season 3, episode 22 of the podcast. And with me, joining me for like the 5th or 6th time now is Kamiyo. So welcome, Kamiyo.
Great to be back.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. And so today we're going through the season 14 patch notes, and at least what's out there and released. There are more to come. I don't think anything released yet has legend balancing stuff, which personally I'm very nervous about as somebody who's recently taken up Valk a little bit. I pretty much only play her in ranked anymore because of her abilities, and I just got her heirloom. So I'm a little nervous that she's going to get nerfed into the ground.
The nerf hammer is incoming. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. So hopefully it's whatever it is, it's not horrible. But I like the mobility of it, and I don't know if they get rid of like the beacon or something like that. I guess that's not the worst thing, but who knows? It seems like everybody in Apex now can scan a beacon, so it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, let's go through these notes, shall we? Hold this up. I don't think there's any video or sound we need to worry about, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, can you see that okay?
Yes, I can.
Make sure it
gotcha.
shows up. We don't need to worry about the ads on the side, but so obviously just basic patch notes. Obviously, huge weapon overhaul. If you haven't seen that, or if anybody who hasn't heard this yet, gigantic weapon overhaul. I don't know what this is going to do, but I definitely have questions about it. We have our new legend coming, Vantage, who I'm not, just in the trailers, I'm not blown away with. What's your like initial reaction on her?
Yeah, I am on the same page as you. Actually, what I saw didn't strike me that hard, and what I guess we can talk about it later too. But what we already discussed in private was actually that we both were surprised that we actually get her as a new legend instead of a mother, I think it is.
Yeah,
and she looks way much more interesting, and it's kind of weird, but
yeah, the mother seems much more badass for sure. So I don't know why, but you know, whatever. Obviously tons of changes coming to Kings Canyon, and we're going to go through the Kings Canyon breakdown in a little bit, so I'm going to skip that. The level cap increases, so I'm excited about this, but I don't know why they're doing it like this tier system. Why don't they just go to like 2000? Instead, they're going 1 to 500, and then the logo around it changes to something a little more fancy for 1 to 500 second tier, and then third tier, and then fourth tier. So they're adding 3 additional tiers onto our current 1 to 500 tier. The other thing that's frustrating is I just looked myself up again. I'm like level technically like 940 or something like that. It's going to suck to drop back down to level 500. Now, granted, like that doesn't show up, but it would be nice if they pulled your current stuff, because there's definitely people already at level 2000. So I know why, because they're going to have all these people who just grind all day. I'm like, well, I'm already at level 2000. I know what now. What? Like this was useless for me. So there's a whole new grind coming. But yeah, it's basically like 500 levels down the drain for a lot of people. So initial thoughts on that?
I kind of like the changes because maybe they actually were smart in that case, because Call of Duty always has done it this way with their prestige thing. So maybe that might just entice COD players to check Apex out too. So maybe the idea is not that bad, and I can understand it, because it's one thing if you just can see, wow, nice. For example, I don't know what I wanted to say. For example, it just how can I say that? For me, it was always more like it always felt better when I prestiged up because it looked different and made you somehow a little bit more special in some case, and therefore the baseline would just be it's better to have another fancier logo or simple emblem instead of just having a big number in front of it or something like that. I don't know.
And maybe I'll be more impressed, I guess, maybe like if the little emblem around the number is like super awesome, you know, if it like the second tier is really cool. And by the time you get to that fourth tier and getting up to like technically level 2000, like maybe it'll be super amazing. I mean, I guess that's technically probably better than like if the logos are all the same, all the emblems are the same, and it's just the numbers different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely I can definitely appreciate that. So yeah, that's good insight. Laser sights, the gun stuff, the laser sights. I'm very curious about this. I don't know if it just changes like the hip fire accuracy, but I feel like pistols and SMGs are definitely the guns like I use hip fire least, well, outside of snipers. But I definitely don't hip fire pistols and SMGs anywhere near as much as I would like an LMG or a shotgun or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself. Honestly, I hip fire a lot, of course, in close combat fights.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter which weapon. I might even be in the same case as you. The only thing that I might actually iron sight or downside is a pistol in close combat sometimes. But
yeah.
But if I have, for example, an R99 and if they're just way too close, then I of course go all the way hip firing.
Oh yeah, I mean you definitely have to.
Yeah.
Although it is funny watching videos of people like ADSing and trying to keep up with some, somebody like wall bouncing and stuff. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all done it. So yeah, I'm definitely curious about how that is going to work. I'm not really sure. I'm also curious of like how much that actually shows up. Like, can you see, like if I have a laser sight on a 99 and I'm just running around, does it shine?
I think I actually saw a video about that, and one guy, I don't know who, just already talked about that, and he said or showed, I think that others so that your enemies definitely cannot see the dot.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be obnoxious. It's like you can't like, it only shows up when you ADS, but like, well, I thought it increases hip fire accuracy. So we're like, so I get it if it shows up while like ADSing, but yeah, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'm curious. I definitely am curious about this.
That thing would be overpowered for a devotion.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank God that's not going to be a thing.
Oh no.
You can obviously change the color of it. So I like that. So the same as the reticles. ARs and LMGs are just going to stick with the barrel stabilizers, which is perfectly fine. All right, so now it gets really interesting. The Wingman is switching to sniper and sniper mags, sniper ammo, sniper mags. I mean, for loot pool reasons, I like this because that's being taken out of the crafter, and I don't know I don't remember what's going on into the crafter right now, but Wingman taking sniper. Well, weird. So I mean, I don't have any thoughts other than it would probably make things a little easier on the loot pool.
Yeah.
But the loot pool is about to get dramatically changed. So I don't know. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's a tough call, man. It's actually, I think the intent is just to try to make the Wingman a little bit more or less popular. So that just because, I mean, I cannot remember exactly, but in the ALGS, still a lot of people played with the Wingman, right? Or didn't they? I cannot actually recall.
It was not as popular, but there's still definitely tons of people using it.
Okay.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
But
people just aren't crafting it.
But other than that, it's kind of weird that they don't now just change it to sniper ammo, which is just, it doesn't make sense. Not really.
There's not as much, and I don't, and I think a lot of it is like you see people running around with a wingman with like 300 rounds of heavy, and it's like, what, how, like who's going to use that? So there's definitely less sniper out there. So maybe it's like they're going to entice you with the wingman, and you would be able to find the sniper because your teammates aren't going to be snatching it all up, but there's definitely going to be less for you. So you're going to be running around with 60 instead of 300. Maybe that's one way of changing those things. I don't know. You're going to want a lobe on your team if you're a wingman addict. Spitfire. So this, I don't feel like anybody is going to be using heavy because Rampage is going into the care package. Spitfire is now a light gun.
I didn't even know that. Holy shit.
So Wingman and Spitfire no longer taking heavy, and Rampage into the care package. So Flatline and Prowler is what you're going to have on the ground.
And the car then, yeah?
And the car will be back, yeah. So I guess, the car is going to take the place of like the Wingman and the Spitfire, I guess, with some of that heavy. But I mean, I'm pretty good anytime I do run the car, which is rare. I'm pretty good about switching back and forth. I don't like run it as strictly heavy or strictly light. I switch it a lot.
So from all these changes, it just looks like heavy weapons or guns that need a heavy ammo were just a problem in the game.
I mean, everybody's running heavy. I mean, it's so heavy dominant between the Spitfire, the Rampage, the Flatline, the Prowler, the Wingman. Okay, I mean, there's so many, and everybody. Anytime I see somebody running the car, it's set on heavy. It's like, how do people find heavy ammo? It's so hard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So now it's going to be like, where the hell is the light ammo? Because everybody's running around with Spitfires and 301s. So heavy is going to be at a giant surplus. It's just going to be everywhere. This is weird to me. I get it, but at the same time, moving to Rampage, like you don't want a Rampage and a Spitfire on the ground, both taking heavy. I get that, but they're changing both of them, so that's kind of weird. EVA 8, 100% needed a slight buff. Now I'm definitely worried like it's going to be the gun, like the sniper or the shotgun. Clearly, we just wrapped up these snipers and shotties reverse challenge, but I just called a EVA 8 a sniper. But the EVA 8 as a shotgun is garbage and needed a buff. But I feel like in season 14 is going to be the gun with faster fire rate, bolts increasing the fire rate even more, taking stocks and adding the double hop or the double tap hop up. Goated. I mean,
pretty strong, yeah.
Yeah. So the damage is not amazing, but if it's shooting ridiculously fast, especially if you find like a blue or a purple bolt for it, and especially if it's the crafter, I'm gonna be running. I did that, whatever that was, like 3 or 4 seasons ago when the EVA 8 was like amazing. I ran that like a whole season and I had a blast. I'm sure everybody hated me, but I had a blast. So it's going to be another EVA 8 season, I think.
It also seems like that now again could be a weapon that is way much more forgiving than, for example, the Peacekeeper, because in close combat you have to hit that shot, and with that it's just maybe not.
I blew a clutch literally last night with a Peacekeeper. I had like 3 opportunities to hit a guy. Once, blew them all. Like I think I hit one of them for like 9 damage, and it's like, oh my god. If I had, honestly, like even the crappy EVA 8, if I had it, I would have won that clutch. But nope, I blew it because I missed way too many PK shots. So I don't know. I feel I'm not patient enough. I feel like you almost have to stop, let them move, and when the second they line up with you, then shoot. And maybe that's the trick. This one I like, and I know why, because everybody freaks out about the whole the self revive. Honestly, like I think maybe I've won 1 or 2 games with a self revive. It is frustrating when you get a knock and like you can hear them self reviving and there's nothing you can do about it. So I get why that's gone, but what do you think about the swap between the two? Gold backpack and the revive.
What new perk deep pockets added? I don't even know what it means. Oh, there.
Yeah, so 3 med kits,
there, okay.
batteries, 2 Phoenix kits, all within one. Like you can put them in one slot. So 2
Oh.
Phoenix kits in one slot. So I thought this was like almost like a legend concept. I was literally just talking about a new like updated legend concept of somebody who could stack like this, and like their passive ability is they could stack, but they can also like throw med kits, throw batteries. Because like I noticed that a lot in fights is like even as like if I'm playing lifeline and my teammate is way over there and I need to heal them, I have to run between this rock and that rock, get myself lit up or knocked or whatever in the meantime. But if I could like launch it, like I could like a fuse knuckle cluster or something like that, I feel like that would be a pretty cool like passive ability. And then like the tactical thought was in Rainbow Six, there's an operator called Doc where he has a healing gun. So similar to the Doc drone, but this one you could do it at a distance, and it would just be one person. So if one person is injured, so it's like a distance healer almost is what the concept is, where he could shoot them with his healing gun and it would, say heal them at a pretty fast rate or something like that.
Yeah.
But it would be one person and they could maybe have 2 of them like a knuckle cluster or a smoke canisters. And then like the ultimate ability of like some type of like a trophy system like a Watson, but it's like you put it down and it can like revive any knocked teammates with like a slow heal to them like a Watson gen, but instead of like shields it would be health.
Interesting.
So it could work in the ring as almost like a heat shield type of thing as well. So if you're stuck in the ring, like trying to craft a whole bunch of med kits, like that was my legend concept. But now my legend concept is dead because of a gold backpack with the deep pockets out of there. Because I that was like one of the passives. So anyway, that was my my little deep dive into my own legend healing concept. But so now thoughts on the gold bag and the gold knockdown.
Yeah, the changes are somehow understandable because it's the Guardian Angel was always a double-edged sword because it's fun and cool if you can survive with that, but it just feels so bad if you lose a fight because they just had a Guardian Angel. I can remember 1 or 2 weeks ago I actually had a ranked game. And technically, we had already won. And because one of them apparently had a Guardian Angel, they survived longer than we in the ring. And that's why they just won the whole game. And that is actually, I can understand why pros would complain about that. But I guess maybe you also could have changed it in a way that it maybe gets deactivated in the last ring or something. That would have been an idea too, because God, I don't know, it was sometimes fun and sometimes it was just really, really annoying. So yeah, it's hard to tell if it's better or worse if it's gone now.
Or maybe like, because I thought about that too, and I think you and I have actually talked about that at one point. But like, what if instead of even like disabling in the last ring, it's like if you're taking damage, you can't do it. So like, for example, for your ranked game is if the guy is using Guardian Angel, it does not work since he would technically probably be like in the ring taking that ring damage. Or if you're shooting him, it's disabled basically. So
yeah.
I thought it would be a fairly easy way to fix that problem, but it's
already not.
It's nice getting it. Like, I can crawl over here and self revive, and it like you said, double-edged sword, right? Like it feels great when you have it, but if the enemy has it and it costs you a game, something like that. It's really
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no problem with it going away. The self revive and stuff. Yeah, please, that can go away. It's cost me just as many games as it's won me, which is probably 1 or 2. So not a big deal. Yeah, not a big deal. And then the Guardian Angel perk from the backpack added. So you definitely want to give those gold revives to the lifelines and the Newcastles and the Gibraltars of the group. So supply drop weapons, G7 and Volt back on the ground. Honestly, I was not a big fan of like the G7 supply drop gun, but I loved it when it's on the ground. And Volt is by far like my favorite SMG. So I think this is just going to end up being my season 14 layout or loadout is the Volt and the G7. It's a great combo. You can do anything from close, mid, and long range with those guns. So I'm loving this 100%. And then the bow and the rampage move to supply drops. I thought the bow was going to go in season 13 to fix like the loot, because then you can remove arrows totally and all bows. So this is a good, I think, loot pool adjustment of throwing the bow into the supply drop. And then rampage, I don't have a problem with that. Rampage, Spitfire, they'll probably just like alternate those on occasion, throw the devotion in there every once in a while. I don't care. That's fine with me. Any initial thoughts on those for you?
No, I think you summed it up quite well. It's just
yeah, it's I am curious the buff that's going to happen to the bow. I'm not a huge fan. It's satisfying to hit those shots. You're really good with the bow, but it's by far one of the most obnoxious guns. I would much rather be hit by a rampage or a Spitfire than a bow. The bow is just so obnoxious. I hate it because you never quite know where it's coming from, and when you do get hit, it feels super bad. And like you never feel like you can hide, because like when the bullets are coming, you're like, okay, I can get around this rock. But with the bow, it's like, if I go around this rock, am I going to hit it harder? Like, am I just giving them a better? I never know. So I am okay with this.
So the only thing that actually is still, or what I'm asking myself is, with those changes, the gold weapons always get golden stuff, and that just means that you sometimes even get stuff that cannot just drop normally in a game. The bow wouldn't even get something special, right? I would assume if it gets into the supply drop, then it just gets its 2 hop ups, and that's it, right? So
and whatever, like generic sight or
whatever. Yeah, right. But it just feels somehow a little too weak for a supply drop weapon, to be honest.
My assumption is the damage is going to get buffed.
Okay, yeah, that could be.
So they bump it up by like 10% or something like that. I don't know what it hits for now, but it's a lot. So my guess is it's going to go up.
Okay.
Oh, my meeting is ending apparently. I don't know why. All right, so jumping in, we may have to like jump right back in here. All right, so jumping on to Kings Canyon, unless we can get through this super fast. So obviously there's tons of stuff coming for Kings Canyon. A new POI, which is super exciting. I was never a big fan of salvage. I mean, obviously you can tell like there's just tons of wasted space with all that water in salvage, and now we have this, which I think is great. Nice. I'm already loving this. It looks small-ish. It's definitely. I mean, Skulltown wasn't big, I guess, by any means or whatever. It was just a fun place to fight. And even with like average loot, it wasn't even like amazing loot you're coming out of there. It was just fun. And this looks kind of comparable. So, but obviously we're gonna have to drop in and kind of see. I know. What do you think about Relic?
Skulltown 2.0 Ria back, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it will make pubs games on Kings Canyon super fun. And that was always the best part about Kings Canyon is for pubs games, it's super fun. They're fast. You can drop in and have a game over in 10 minutes and even win it in 10 minutes. Yeah, that's my favorite part about Kings Canyon. I'm not a big ranked fan with Kings, but it is definitely a faster game. Cage. So I'm not a big fan of like landing at Cage, but I feel like I rotate through here nonstop. Like it's obviously like right in the center of the map. And if you're going north to south, like this is a very common rotation. You're not going to be able to hold this. So this is pretty easy area to hold with like a Watson or a Caustic up top. And you could kind of shoot down to like those windows up there. But now it's a much more open area around it and up top where you can't really camp this out very good. I am guessing because you can land up top as like a Horizon or a Valkyrie or a Pathfinder. You can get up top up there. So I'm assuming you can still do that here. There's no like out of bounds timer, but this is a pretty dramatic change. So nobody's going to be camping up top. That was always a worry going into Cage is what team is up there with charge rifles. So what do you think?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I like the changes because also for me the POI Cage was just always so annoying, and it was also never really fun to land or fight there because it was just annoying somehow. But yeah, I do like the changes. Makes it a little bit more open and definitely way harder to camp there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's currently such an easy place to just get up and hold. Yeah. Now this one it is like storming like really it like just got like pitch black and I can like hear the rain coming down. It is like ridiculously loud.
Yes, holy what the hell happened there?
It is storming really bad. So I may like probably lose power. Who knows what's going to happen here? So we may just get cut off completely and have to do a part 2 anyway. So this one I'm not a huge fan of. Every time I come through here, I'm fighting. I don't know if I've ever gone through this area. I don't think it has like a technical name or whatever. Yeah, hillside or whatever. I get in fights here all the time. So it looks like it's going to be a lot less loot. There is quite a few bins, and then I like going underneath here. I always feel like there's like blue body armors underneath the ground here, and decent guns. So if I do land here or I come through here, there's usually okay loot. But it definitely looks like most of the loot is gone here. And I'm thinking the building is still up top. There is that building that's up top. Yeah, you can see it here. Yeah. So like there's the stairs you go up to with that building. So it looks like it still exists up there, but this area right here looks like a little bit of a bummer. And it's much more open. So people are not going to be camping here as like a gatekeeping situation either very well. So
yeah. So you know what I was just thinking because of all the changes? I think they honestly also did that. So it looks like the map is way much more open than before, so that snipers like the new legend can profit from that, right?
That's probably a good concept. And then changing the wingman to a sniper, they're probably just promoting more snipers on this map. Yeah.
Because
that's a good call.
Because I can remember the past, people are always complain or ask about why there are even snipers in the game because they are just they didn't say useless in the game, but something like that.
Yeah, they're not as devastating for sure. Yeah, if they went away and all sniper guns left, I don't think it would have an effect on the game. So yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Might be the way, or I also heard something about that they wanted to reduce choke points. I don't know if that was a choke point in the past. Maybe that's all.
It definitely is, because if you're trying to like rotate and have to go like up this hill, it's hard. This will probably make it a little easier to fight. where people will have less cover. So yeah, rotations are going to be a little more challenging, I think, because it's going to be more open. So you're going to be exposed, but there's less choke points. So you're going to be it's a weird combination of like it's easier to rotate, but it's harder to rotate. So I think they put an emphasis on teamwork and being able to rotate as a team and not goof around or whatever. Now broken relay, I like this change because broken relay is garbage, I think. um, but I like the layout over here. It's a great place to look like land and look at or whatever. But there's just not enough loot for like a full team because there's only like 3 or 4 buildings in this area. But they've added a couple on like this side of the mountain, which is great, and they've added a couple zip lines. So I like this area. Broken relay was never like it's just a POI that just has nothing there.
Yeah.
So it always felt weird, like a kind of a overkill for a whole POI.
Still almost looks like it would be still not enough for a whole triple squad, but it depends.
Unless it's like high tier loot or something like that, and you're
that
gonna
could
walk
be,
out of there
okay.
with like a purple and 2 blues or something, that would be nice. But
Okay, yeah.
all right, so rotations. So some of these seem like really confusing to me. I started digging into them like the other night, and I'm kind of confused as to why on some of these. So this is the one that like leads up to Cage and the hillside and down to the little area outside of Bunker, like right in the center of the map. You know where this is?
Yeah.
Okay. So the new rotations through here is they've completely shut off this area.
Interesting.
So I feel like this is just a straight up now 100% bottleneck. Like
just creats more choke again, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So I think their premise of this is promoting wins to people who rotate the best. And yeah, so we're rewarding players for planning their rotations thoughtfully by making key changes.
Yeah, that just sounds again just like much more Valkyrie also on King's Canyon.
Yeah.
Like on some point.
And how many times like have you gone through this area, either like through the pass up top or down one of these hills or up through here, and just seeing like something you don't want to go to and like, nope, I'm going the other way. Like that's what's so nice about this is like you have rotational options.
Right,
And
yeah.
so this one is weird, especially in the middle. I kind of like this being in the middle where you can kind of rotate from like all sorts of different ways. But now it's like, nope, you have to rotate up through the sides or come through a bottleneck.
So do you think the tunnel and the behind is still there, or is it gone too?
Well, so it gets confusing. So this isn't quite it. There's one more that I think is kind of related or near it with at Cage, but we'll get to that. I don't know. So you're talking like the tunnel up here.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I think it probably is. I think it's just cutting off this for like third party reasons. So I think you should be able to still rotate from like Cage because that would be kind of shut off. Now there's like another pass right on the other side of this mountain. So it is very possible they close that path off, but I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting that they would close that for third party reasons, because yes, it just can prevent to get them in more quickly, but it also prevents you to escape more easily. So it's kind of I don't know.
Well, and see that's what's interesting about this. Like I feel like this is almost like anti-ranked, where it's like overall we felt that on Kings Canyon squads didn't need to fully commit to a decision as much as they needed to on other maps, which is true. All the other maps are a lot more open and free, and you've got all sorts of other rotational options you can work with, where Kings is they kind of force you. So frequent cut-throughs made it easy to interrupt fights without consequences, which is very true. You can third-party this area really easily and get the hell out if it was a bad call. So yeah, I think they're forcing people to commit, but that's not the case for like Storm Point. They don't force you to commit because there's just not as many bottlenecks. And that was always like the worry with ranked and Kings Canyon is it's smaller, there's more bottlenecks, and I feel like adding a bottleneck in the middle seems bad.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah, I agree, but we will see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's only a matter of time. Now, some of this area I'm a little confused on. So here's bridges, also in the center of the map. And obviously there's the road over here to the left of this area that would go up into this. So on bridges, they have this open area right over here that leads over to like Market and to now what's going to be like the open area of Relic and things like that. So this map rotation, the center of the map connected destroyed bridges, river center, and hillside. We felt that the rotation was too fast, contributed to a high amount of third parties at river center and hillside. To help make the flow of squads more predictable, we've removed the connection to destroyed bridges. So there versus there.
Mm.
So you can go up here of like, Cage is out here. So there's still the rotation on the backside of this mountain, but there's not this option. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's taking away another rotational option, which you're so limited to still in this map.
That is true, yeah. But like you already said, you can tell that I really want to try. I mean, they just wrote it down here that they just want to prevent that high amount of third partying. So that just might do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a bottleneck, but at least it would be a fair bottleneck, a 3v3, rather than, yeah, like, oh, there's a fight right here. We can go down these 9 different tunnels. So it would, and that's always the nightmare of Kings is the third parties for sure. Like if you can't end a fight in about 30 seconds on Kings,
Yep.
you got to leave. You got to get out of there. So, I mean, I for third parties will definitely be a little more limited here. I do feel like I get third partied in this area a lot. I feel like I've held this building right here like a million times. So, and it's not easy to hold when you've got all this open area behind it, this tunnel and this tunnel to come through. So, I get that. And I think there's like a ring that ends like right here anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a pretty common ring that ends right outside this building. So that might come in an advantage with that one. All right, so the marketplace and river center opening to further stabilize the flow of squads around river center. We expect that squads will experience less third parties in these central locations on Kings Canyon, which is probably good. So maybe my initial reaction is stop creating bottlenecks, but I guess creating bottlenecks does prevent the third parties.
yeah.
So a smoother mid game, which is important. I don't mind landing on drop, and I don't mind dying on drop, and I don't mind dying at the end. But dying during like a silly rotation or something like that is super frustrating. So I would much rather die at the beginning or end than right in the middle. I'm a little confused here. So we're on top of Market. So are we looking at the tunnel?
Yeah,
There's the tunnel
and
right
the
here,
back
like
is
the little
gone
tiny
again.
one, right? There's
Yeah,
like a
right.
little
Yeah, I
tiny
think
tunnel right there.
it's gone and the back. Oh no! What the hell? Okay, that's
So it says connection between Marketplace and River Center, which would be the little tiny. So is it just the
well,
little
this is
tiny tunnel is gone, and now there's just a massive tunnel?
it seems like it would not do the trick, right? But
Yeah, that feels like more
it,
third parties this way, please.
it just depends on where it actually leads now. But I guess it's still.
Well, is that the one that's closed? Is No, that's down on this one. That's the other one down here. That's the one that's over like this hill that goes up here. That's the one that leads out that way. So it's
But
not
they said
close.
that one is closed or
Yeah.
not. But
So I don't know what the hell this is. Like, this is
Or
the one I'm
is-
confused on.
or is it just a small cave now? But that would give marketplace even more loot, so I don't think so.
Yeah, is like, so this tunnel's maybe gone on the backside, which is fine. So maybe they just opened it up, but it's closed over here where it just rotates to the left and goes out to like where that respawn beacon is and would take you into currently salvage or now relic. So like you can go out to this side of market or you can go through the tunnel, and so maybe it's just like little mini optional rotations to that area. But I don't know. This is a weird
but
one.
yeah, but if that's the case, then it just looks like you almost only have two paths left to get out of that southwest side of the map, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you still have the thing on the right. I don't know how it's called, and the path on the left. I don't know the names. I don't know all the names, but I guess you know what I mean. But
Yeah. Well, and if this is a closed off area, like it doesn't really allow rotations out of here, I don't know if I'd ever want to land market.
yeah,
Like if
but
it's just so closed off.
I would almost assume that cave leads somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
I would think it has to.
yeah, I
But
think so
why
too.
get rid of a tiny one and just add a
Yeah,
bigger?
yeah, that doesn't really make sense. So
Confused.
that only can mean that it still goes out to the left, which would still mean it's still a bottleneck on the left and right side. The two paths, then yeah, kind of weird.
Oh my gosh. All right, so this is confusing. All right, so I'm reading above, right? So it says we removed the cave connection between Marketplace and River Center. That's that's maybe the back one too, or this one. But then like if you read below this, okay, so we're done. All right, at Marketplace, we've moved the small cave connection. We needed to keep reading. So we've moved it at the back to a more visible location, which this is a hard there's always people like camping this. This is a hard tunnel to get through. We've widened it significantly. Oh man, that was like a waste of like 5 minutes, like debating about something that is not the case.
Yes.
This should make it more difficult for players to ambush squads at Marketplace. That makes, yeah, they're definitely going to be seen here, where it's so easy because it's pitch black. You can easily sneak through there without getting noticed. Okay, I'm okay with this. So you can't be in. Okay, I was like, Marketplace is going to be total trash if like you can't rotate out of it. Like you have to go out through the big giant open area, or like you're forced out the back corner. And so yeah, that's better. Okay, we should just read the words. I don't know why we All right, so this is the one that overlooks Cage, right? So we're going down to Cage, and yeah, so we've made a similar modification to this checkpoint near Cage. The amount of new playable space is significant and gives player better visibility of the surrounding areas. All right, you ready for this? You know where this is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen this picture?
No, I have not. Oh, that is way much more open.
It is just it's no longer mountains. They just now have a rock.
Damn.
So yeah, and so like they had like like a couple little tunnels and a little road, like or a little path you could go right here. Now it's just all gone. It's just a big open area. So it was always great because this was a good bottleneck right here. I don't know how many times like I've like there's people fighting a cage, the ring is coming this way, just chill here. We're gonna get some easy kills. So yeah, I've definitely stacked up some death boxes here, and I've definitely been killed here, in the same situation. But this is going to allow for some easier rotations through here. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. And again, more changes, more open fields, so snipers could I forgot the word, could benefit from it.
Yeah, imagine like a new castle and a vantage like set up right here. Like yeah, rest in peace, everybody, I guess. Yeah, like I'm gonna run Vantage, Newcastle, and like Gibraltar. And everybody's sniping behind a behind that. You got Gibraltar's gun shield, bubble, worst case scenario. Yeah, I mean, like that's insane. Loot refresh. So I'm excited about this. So the loot quantity in Kings Canyon is obviously trash compared to the other ones. So we rebalance the distribution of loot across the number of POIs to address major loot disparity between key POIs, Crash Site and Spotted Lakes, which I love landing Spotted Lakes because it's really good loot. There's tons of loot there for like 3 teams. But that's been taken down. Crash Site is maybe it is really good loot, and there's always teams that land there. But I like the rotations out of Spotted Lake because you can go straight down to like Runoff, or you can go through Pit. I like that one for like at least like ranked. It tends to be a pretty safe spot to land because you're usually going to contend with one team. But with the loot going down a peg, I may have to find a different landing spot, like, say maybe like Runoff or Hydrodams or Swamp or Octane's Gauntlet, because those are getting buffs. So I am curious how that will affect. I do see like Runoff is kind of like a forgotten POI, but that's pretty decent loot if people don't land there. I don't know why they don't.
I don't even remember where Runoff is.
It's north of Airbase.
Oh, okay, that new location. Oh, okay, yeah, no, gotcha.
Yeah, Spotted Lakes is the old Slum Lakes.
Yeah.
And then there's like Runoff. Runoff is right next to Pit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Everybody forgets the name of it too. Like that. Loot quality. So it made significant changes to the loot. Many POIs felt prominent enough for medium or rare tier loot simply weren't tagged for it. The quality of loot you can expect to find should feel much more intuitive in this version of Kings Canyon, which is great. And the loot quantity, Kings Canyon's total loot count was much lower compared to our other maps. The biggest offenders were buildings from the original version, which is 100% true. Buildings in all the other maps, like loot the buildings, not the bins. In Kings Canyon, you got to loot the bins, not the buildings. I always feel like the loot in buildings is not very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 100% true. So like that's going to get adjusted and fixed. Contains less loot overall than buildings introduced in subsequent map updates 100%. After taking steps to address this, the total loot that can now spawn is roughly comparable to Olympus. So the Olympus loot, which is really good, being dumped into Kings Canyon. So I'm okay with that. Thoughts on loot?
Not really, to be honest, no.
I mean, I think it's only going to make Kings better.
Yeah.
Although, like, I also like the only problem I have with like swamps. Just trying to think of like where do I want to land now? I like Rig. Rig has really good loot. Plus, it's got the charging station over at Rig. It's the newer one, like northeast corner of the map. By where Broken Relay is. It's north of swamps. Rolls into like was that capacitor or whatever. I like that one because it's usually pretty good loot. It's got I like to land like right on the charging station and get everybody's ultimate right on land. Like that's always super satisfying. But I don't know. Swamps is way too spread out. It's hard to loot with like 3 people and not get like somebody killed in the process. So I usually avoid swamps. Like it's so easy to just get spread and you can't get to somebody fast enough. All right, the skybox and lighting. Have you seen this yet?
No.
This is gorgeous. I'm trying to like sneak down and move the sliders so you can't really see them.
Okay, wait. Here. I just close my eyes and you tell me when to look.
All right, do it.
Okay. Oh, it's brighter than before. At first, I didn't notice the difference.
Yeah, like in comparison to like very just brown and dull, to like just being like super lit up.
Better,
like yeah, I agree. This map is always very like dull to look at. So yeah, this is a great little touch and increased lighting. And finally, it's like some random additional changes. So This is, I think, like a lot of like rotational type stuff for people. Added new raised walkways to help players rotate between destroyed bridges and river center. So raised walkways. So maybe so you don't have to go like all the way down. Maybe there's literally like a giant bridge, like right outside a bunker or whatever is what I'm thinking. Or like a little like south of bunker. It's hard to really figure that out, but I'm guessing there's going to be some type of walkways that are where you don't have to go down into the water and try to come back up. You're definitely like a setting duck down there. 2 sets of stairs and 2 zip lines to help non-movement legends across the walls at Repulsor.
Repulsor.
That's Repulsor is outside of like the hydro dam area or whatever. It's got like the sniper tower.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, gotcha.
2 sets of stairs and 2 zip lines to help non-movement legends access the walls at Repulsor. What walls at Repulsor? So I don't know if maybe like they're on the outside, which I don't like at all. Like it's so nice to have like that advantage if you do have that, especially if it's like one of those final rings. Like if there's zip lines and stairs that go up to that, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to check that out, but I guess it's just gonna encourage more caustics out there. Added 1 vertical zip line to help non-movement legends access the wall at artillery. It's talking about so the wall at Repulsor and the wall at artillery. They're talking like the wall that goes all the way around it that you can get up to. Normally you have to take like you either have to have like that movement legend or there's like a jump. Yeah, so there is like a giant wall that goes around that. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Artillery's got that same thing on like the south side of it.
Yeah.
And like I love like going up there, and it's so easy to just get up there, and you just kind of camp up there, and usually there's always care packages that land over there, and there is an end ring or 2 that like right up in that area too. So okay, I don't like it then. If there's stairs, like that's as somebody who plays a lot of Valkyrie, that kind of sucks. So it was like a nice advantage, but okay.
This safe space of a giant high wall is gone.
Yeah, it's such an advantage. Added 2 vertical zip lines to help players access the walkways at swamps. Okay, I mean there is like the little walking bridges like way up in the trees at swamps. That's fine. It is kind of annoying if you fall down or whatever.
Yeah, it is annoying. Yeah.
Well, now I got 2 minutes to get back up in there. New explosive hold at swamps. That's fine. Removed a number of trees at forest to improve visibility. What the hell is forest?
Forest, is it
is that just swamps?
Is it that space under artillery that with this giant skeleton and all that stuff? I just can't look it up. Let me take a look. How is it called again? Kings Canyon Forest?
Kings Canyon Forest. I mean, there are definitely POIs that aren't named on the map.
Yeah,
and like
okay,
that do pop up. Like people don't often look at their screen when like the name pops up.
So I have okay, that's a map. There's the Skull Town on it.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so where's something that is just give me season. When was the last season we added?
12? Season 12.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, 12.
Oh, no, 13. It was 13. Yeah, we did have it last year. Or last season.
Season 13.
No, we're in season 13 now. We don't have season 12.
Okay, so it's 12. It's 12. So what do we have here? We have artillery, broken relay, replicator. I don't see forests.
I wonder if it's just the area like outside of artillery. It's not named.
I can send you that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't because it's in German, but who cares? It's just a picture. Oh, wait, I just can do it like.
Here, I can stop sharing and you can share your screen.
No, I know how. God damn. No. Okay, that didn't work. Can I just it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way I wanted. Just takes a minute. Give me a second. Almost got it. Or not. I don't know what is happening. If this continues, I will have a virus on my PC for sure. The hell is going on here?
You got the little. Oh, I just noticed the little Pathfinder. I've seen the mushroom behind your head. The little, yeah, the little like the,
oh, sorry,
the
yeah.
little mushroom. But yeah, I don't think I ever caught the Pathfinder behind there.
No, I think I already showed you in the past, or I could be
Maybe.
wrong. Maybe.
Yeah, I may not have like paid that much attention. I'm like, oh, like the mushroom stands out so much. Pathfinder kind of blends
I
in.
don't know how I might. Can I just check?
I think so.
Let's check it out. Let's see. Okay, I can. So, oh yeah. Can you see something?
I can, yes.
Okay, so there we have it. So that's everything. And as you can see, I don't see anything that just looks like a freaking forest. So,
My initial reaction is the area just south of artillery, between
here,
artillery
right?
and capacity. Yeah.
That was my idea too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only place I can think of. And that's there's a lot of trees in that area, so maybe they just removed a handful of them so you can see better.
That is what I would think too. Yeah, because otherwise than that, I don't even know if there's a spot where there are that many spaces. Maybe here there are also a lot of trees too, but there are way more here, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, there is like the area kind of between labs and capacitor and cage, and yeah, that little open area right there. But it's got to be the spot by like south of artillery.
So. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, nowhere else really.
Not really, no.
The little area, we know there's not many trees between bunker and salvage. We've definitely looked at all those trees before.
That is true.
Once or twice.
Lovely
Yeah,
trees.
I can't really think of any other spot.
No. Yeah, it has to be somewhere here. I would assume so too. So somewhere in the northeast, somewhere there, yeah. Or well, that's not really northeast. That's almost center of the map, almost. Well,
Yeah.
no, not really. I don't care.
Close enough.
Close enough.
So, and while we're here and looking at this, so I'm sitting here moving my mouse like people can see it, but they can obviously they're going to be watching yours. So the area like north of Market, the little access area by the drop where the drop ship is, yeah, the one on the left side of the drop ship, that's the one that's closing off, right? Is that the way how you looked at that?
Oh, yeah. So this will be definitely gone.
So that's gone, and then the area in the very middle is gone right there.
But then you still have that
that's
gone too, and that goes down to up here.
Yeah, so there's a bigger entrance right there.
And that would still be the same here, right? I would assume.
Yeah, I can't imagine them because that would be way too big of like a mountain area.
Right, yeah, here.
Get around.
If that here would be gone, I think it would just that would just make it way too much.
Imagine like the second ring or whatever is like has Market and like the cage in it, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe this is gonna pull Market, and then it pulls cage, and you're like rotating a little late, and you're kind of that's just way too much. Yeah, it's like you better have Valkyrie or you're gonna be tanking some damage here. So yeah, that's interesting.
So far, I would also say if they just go too hard with all these changes and they just create too many bottlenecks, then we will guaranteed have another Valkyrie season for sure.
Yeah, I think you have to. I don't think like you can't. I mean, you can easily do it through like gold or whatever, but I think once you get like, of course now plats are playing with Preds, but I think, or even golds are apparently playing with Preds. So yeah, I'm in gold lobbies in ranked right now, and 100% I am seeing a decent amount of masters in gold lobbies, so that's very depressing. But and then the area, that was the other one, was like the area above cage is kind of opened up.
Okay, I can stop sharing. Wait, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of looking at the map right there. It was perfect.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, all's good, all's good. So last couple, I think we're down the last couple bullet points. Trees at forest, so we figured that out best we could anyway. Removed 2 of the 3 charge towers at capacitor, which I think is fine. That was insane. I don't know why there was three
Yeah.
there, but that's a lot of ultimates in one area.
Yep.
Now this one I am questioning is removed 5 jump towers in areas that would benefit from slower rotations.
Oh.
So again, you have to have Valkyrie.
Yes, damn. That is an interesting change. I don't even know. Even that doesn't make sense because if you're already closing down much more spaces where you can path where you technically could go through, and and they are gone, and now you also remove jump towers. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't remember how many jump towers are on the map, but
Not that many, right?
I feel like there's maybe only like 8-ish or so. So maybe they
That
just have them like on the outside, but they're taking away ones closer in the middle.
maybe yes. So slower rotations.
Yeah, so they're encouraging people to walk through the center of the map, I think, is what they're doing.
Do you think they actually no, that doesn't make sense. I just wanted to ask if they just made those changes because they just saw in the LGS how late they were going into the ring, so that it just makes it maybe a little bit harder to just stay outside.
I have no like skin in the game with ALGS, but watching people Valk ult in like round 5, I hate it. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we have like an 80% chance of just getting obliterated, but there's like this 20% chance that we could land at the best possible spot where nobody is around to shoot us. We can find like that sliver of a wall that we can all hide behind, and we can get a top 2, top 3 placement here. And so like anytime you see those late ones, it's like they're probably going to die, but so yeah, I hate it. um I'm hoping that the only nerf with Valk is that they just slow down the ultimate of it's a fairly fast ultimate now, but just add 30 seconds to a minute to it, where they only have, unless they're popping accelerants, they only are going to be able to ult two times. I think that's fair. Like you ult once and you ult mid game, and that's okay. So yeah. I mean, I think as a Valk, you should just land on a charge tower and you're good to go anyway. You can get out of dodge. And then obviously fixing bugs and bad end circles, which there's always going to be some bad end circles anyway, but people are always going to complain that, oh, I was at a disadvantage, but you were playing at a dumb spot, so that's on you. So I don't know. The only time that I don't like end circles is if it does split like a mountain in between, and it's like heal off type of situations. Those aren't super fun, but exciting to watch, but not fun to be a part of. So that is it. We do not yet have patch notes on Legends, but yeah, those are supposed to probably come out, I would imagine, probably on Monday, usually like the day before the release. So that will be coming soon. Any last thoughts from Kamiyo?
Yeah, I was just thinking about everything again, and honestly, yes, we will get a lot of changes in season 14, especially with King's Canyon. But other than that, I would almost say there's not really that much new. Or well, the only new thing that we actually get is the new legend, and like we already said both before, I think, that it actually doesn't look that awesome. I don't know, but it just I was just thinking, well, maybe a couple of new cool features or something. So therefore, the only thing we actually now get with season 14 is now an overhaul of King's Canyon, which is still good, but is it enough for a whole season?
I mean, there is rumors at least of like LTMs coming out.
Okay.
So if there is like a permanent LTM modes added or a better rotation, like that's one of my biggest frustrations right now is like if I get tired of battle royale, like I just need to step away from it because I'm just getting obliterated, and like I can jump into like an armed and dangerous or control or the well, not Mirage Voyage, but the Christmas one, whatever that one is. The
That would be a nice LTM Mirage Voyage for everybody.
Yes, it's just a party mode. There's no guns. You just
Yes,
have a good
please.
time. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. It's the passive mode where you just go in and chill and have a good time. So a better rotation of those, which I think is a big complaint of everybody, of like just more options is always good. So I would love to see that, but that is rumors, is LTMs galore in season 14. So we shall see. We shall see. But anyway, yeah, my thoughts. I'm fairly excited. I'm hoping I'm wrong on Vantage, that she's actually pretty decent. Um, I mean, I've been very wrong before with stuff. So I thought Seer was going to be a piece of garbage, and he dropped in as a god. Who else? Like I thought Mad Maggie was going to be like a god, and she kind of dropped in as kind of very lackluster. So yeah, I've been pretty wrong on those before. Other than like Seer dropping, like Valk dropped really strong. But I think you have to drop a Legend strong. So hopefully she's pretty dang good, and they just nerf her slightly to adjust if needed. But we'll see. The sniper makes me nervous. Like the people who are really good, I suck with snipers, so we'll see if they're good.
I at least like the attempt from Respawn that they now just try to apparently make sniping a little bit more tempting or
Yeah,
a bit more attractive. So
yeah,
therefore that could just make put a little bit more dynamic into the game.
yep.
And
Yeah, this might be the sniper season. We
yeah,
shall see. All right. Well, that is it from us. Everybody be sure to go check out Kamiyo. Do you want to shout out any of your socials, YouTube channel, anything like that? I'll put links below to Kamiyo stuff, but be sure to check him out.
yep.
But shout yourself out.
Well, yeah, you can find me wherever you want. No, that's not true. You can find me on YouTube if you want to see garbage, shitty, but sometimes funny content, then I am the right person for you. But
It's always a blast. Every single one of Kamiyo's videos are just freaking hilarious. So definitely worth watching. It's a very unique content. So that's always a blast to watch. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Again, I appreciate it. And
thank you for having me. It was as always a blast.
All right.